yeah, welcome back. Welcome back. Excuse me for a sec. It is so very good to be back here and playing music. Let me move this over a tiny bit. Cool. That's pretty good. I'm gonna do a tiny bit more. So we're in a new place, in case you hadn't noticed yet. I'm living in a new place that I moved into about a month and a half ago. And it's pretty awesome, so it's cool. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing real good. Sorry I missed like 2 weeks of our little jam series. Kind of is what it is. I've been so busy, school and all that. But it's good to be back. Sorry, I haven't like warmed up or anything, so we're just going for this. Benvenuto. È stato troppo tempo da quando ho parlato in italiano. Ma ricordo come dire quello che non ho parlato in tanto tempo.
great, dude.
Thanks, my guy. enjoyable. This is quite enjoyable. This is quite enjoyable. This is what I love doing on my Saturdays. You know that? Covering my face. That would be funny. That was kind of interesting. That was pretty fun. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright, so I'm going to give you guys some thoughts before we part. I'm probably not going to think too long because I don't want to think too much on a Saturday afternoon. But I am going to do a bit of thoughts. So, I was going to think about, oh yes, things that you would miss in life if you don't try new things. I mean, as a whole, trying new things, obviously a good thing. But it's amazing how comfortable people are just doing the things that they know and not anything else. So I encourage you to try new things. There's a great Eleanor Roosevelt quote, which is that you should do something every day that scares you. Do something every day that scares you. And I think that's a good rule to live by, because you need to try new things to push yourself, to learn new things. And the only reason you like any of the things that you like are because you tried the things that you like. Yeah, I forget all the things I wanted to rant about on this topic. To be completely honest with you guys, my mind has been super scattered recently. It's been a really busy time. But, I don't know. Here's some examples of things that you might benefit from trying. New music. If you want some music recommendations, hit me up. I listen to music. I think, side tangent. I think pretty much everyone in the world has been exposed to music. I don't think there's anyone in the world, not a single person out of like 7.5 billion people, I don't think there's a single one who, if you said music, they'd be like, huh, what's that? You know? Not everyone listens to music, and there are some weirdos who don't listen to music out there, and that's cool and all. But even those people know what music is. And I'm not sure if you could say that about just anything, you know? Like, you look at, like, tribal parts of Africa that have, like, no electricity or contact with the outside world ever. And even they have music, I bet, you know? Whereas they might not have heard of something like the United States or the dollar or whatever. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that all people on the earth know exists. The sun, the moon, space, the earth, I guess. Probably water. Yeah, definitely water. Food. But music. Like, music, it's amazing that music can be categorized with these other things, like the sun, the moon, water. You know, everyone knows these things exist. Stars. You know, that's amazing. Couldn't say the same thing about Mexican food, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, if you said Mexican food, they'd be like, huh, what you talking about, you know? I'm not one of those people. I know Mexican food, so, yeah, I like Mexican food. I like most food, I think. Things you should try. Foods. I'm trying to think of the weirdest food I've ever eaten. It was probably raw horse. And the only reason I ate raw horse was to be able to say that I've eaten raw horse. It was put in front of me. It wasn't like I went and killed a horse or anything. So no, someone had already done all that, and they were like, would you like to try this raw horse? And they put it in front of me. And I was like, yeah, sure. This was in Japan. And I took my chopsticks, and I lifted it up. Didn't taste like anything. It was really chewy. That is raw horse. Other weird things, seal is fantastic. I had seal in Norway, Norway, and possibly the most delicious meat I've had. It's like, it's bizarre. It's a seafood, but it's like gamey, if you know, like that game flavor, like venison, boar. Tastes kind of like that, but mixed with it's kind of indescribable, but if you're ever in Norway, try seal, because it's delicious. It's so good. Traveling. If you get a chance to travel, I think you should do it. Now, traveling is something that makes a lot of people uncomfortable, because you're really leaving your comfort zone if you're leaving your country, you know? I mean, I get culture shock going from Denver to New York, but Denver to, I don't know, India is a pretty, even more significant culture shock. Interestingly, I probably would be more comfortable with that culture shock than the Denver to New York culture shock. because at least it's like fully across the board. I have no clue what's going on here anymore. Whereas Denver to New York is like a different version of that. I have no clue what's going on here anymore. But people still speak English. You know, I still know how to get around town and stuff. And like, I don't know. I was ranting to myself about this earlier today. That like, if you ever move somewhere and like start a new life or whatever, it's really hard for exactly this reason, because there's like, you gotta grow accustomed to a whole new type of people who live there. You know, just because people speak English all over America does not mean that American cities are not vastly different from each other. Especially you move from the East Coast anywhere west of the East Coast, you realize pretty immediately, like, East Coasters are weird, for one, and it's just, there's a different life just waiting to be found out there. And I come from the East Coast, I'm from Connecticut, so naturally, like, this is a thing I very much experience, like, my ingrained habit of, like, life, my view of the world is, I don't know, closely tied to the 20 years that I lived in Connecticut. Go figure, you know? Then all of a sudden I'm living in Colorado, and it's like, wow, people are different. Huh, that's weird. But in a lot of good ways, but in a lot of ways that just make life harder, you know? Because I'm not from here, so I don't, like, naturally react the same way. And, like, in this regard, every single person on the entire planet is completely unique. What's interesting is people share things, despite that. So, for example, there's X number of people from Connecticut who I could relate to, and who probably, I actually met someone the other day, a person in Denver from Connecticut, and I didn't say this to him, but I bet he has a similar idea, like, oh wow, people here are so different, you know? And he would know, because he knows what I'm coming from and what I'm going to, not just one or the other. So you connect with people. You know, there's X number of people that speak the English language. There's X number of people who, you know, went and had it weird today. There's X number of people who went to college or grew up in Kenya or whatever, you know? And yet every single individual within those great pools, those great many pools of things, every single individual completely unique. No two people have lived the exact same life. Even if they had, they had probably experienced it in completely different ways, which is pretty cool to think about, because perception is subjective, and my red is probably not your red, and my blue, you know. So in the same way, everything that you've ever lived is unique to you. Only you have experienced things the way that you have experienced them. So if you literally found yourself in another person's body, you would probably be beyond confused, because they're geared into this world in a completely different way. If you want to make the solipsist argument that all these other people don't actually exist and it's just me, then, well, then it's kind of pointless to picture yourself in another person's shoes, because they're not real anyway. That's kind of interesting to think about. But anyway, how did I get on that tangent? I don't know. Gosh. Anyway, things you should try. Dancing. You know, alright, I'll be honest with you guys. I dance a lot, but I don't really know what I'm doing. I just kind of, do my little wavy thing, because I'm a wavy dude. I should learn to surf. Things you should try. Surfing. Skiing. All the things. But when you think about it, maybe there's a limit to the number of things you can try, because you're only alive for so long. You only have X physical resources. You only have certain physical capabilities. Like, I will never be able to dunk a basketball in my whole life, I imagine. Unless I tried really, really hard, and even then I wouldn't be guaranteed it. You're limited. Some of it's physical. Some others, like financial. The fact that we live on Earth, I guess that's kind of a physical problem. But the fact that we live on Earth and not some planet far, far, far away from here means that we're not going to experience all the cool things that other planet far, far, far away from here has to offer. That's kind of a bummer, because, you know, space is cool. The universe is really neat. And I wish, you know, it's really interesting to think about why here and why now, those two questions. Because if you think of space as kind of this infinite space and time, why here and why now? There's not really a good answer to either of those questions. And yet, they're both always true. Go figure. Actually, maybe they're not always true. Sometimes I think, I look at other people, and, you know, we're living simultaneously. But it's possible that I'm the one living now, and they're far in the future, far in the past. You know, where are other people's points of consciousness relative to your own? Could you say definitively that they're at the same point, or are they at a different point? I don't know. Interesting to think about, because maybe it's all been done before, and I'm just waving my way through it. Yeah, it's weird. It's a really strange world. I mean, if you really dive into any of these things, none of them actually make any sense. Which is why you should try new things, because the things that you like, there's no real telling why you like them, but you tried them and you liked them, and that's why you do them. So I think music is a huge one, because music is so subjective. I mean, I don't even believe that any two people hear the same music, because again, I think perception is so subjective and completely unique within individuals that I don't think two people could possibly hear the same music, and yet people like certain musics, people are drawn to certain musics, and it's all subjective. You know, for example, the feelings that I receive when I listen to a band like Phish, which is my favorite band, or maybe someone else hears the exact same thing when they listen to ABBA. I don't know why ABBA was the example that came to mind there, but there you have it, you know. What's interesting is the feelings are maybe kind of similar, but even those are experienced subjectively, so perhaps they feel completely unique in that regard as well. I don't know. Anyway, that's, I think, gonna conclude this rant, because my mind is just wandering in all these directions, and I'm just being a sucker and following it. So, trying not to do that. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed. And yeah, I apologize for not doing this the past 2 weeks. It feels really lousy to miss 2 weeks of jamming. But that's life. It's been a really busy life. Like, busy year, busy week, busy life, busy several lives. I've been busy for like at least 10 million years, man. Man, our fingers are literally falling apart. That's good to see. Just skin peeling off everywhere. Okay, before I go, I was going to inform the great Facebook world of all the very few number of people who will actually watch this far into this video. I'm going to inform those people that on October 5th at 12 p.m. Mountain Time, I will be playing a concert. Possibly on Facebook Live, probably not going to live it, probably going to record it and throw it on afterwards. I'm playing at the Colorado School of Mines, Arthur Lakes Library. I did one of these last year. You can find the YouTube video of that. Just search Andrew Fletcher Concerts in the Library and you're sure to find it. I'm doing that again, and this time I'm inviting many friends to come and play good music with me, and we're going to have the best time ever. And yeah, so October 5th, 12 p.m., it's a Friday, Mountain Time, 12 p.m. That's 2 p.m. Eastern Time for all my East Coast friends, and who knows what time anywhere else, 11 in California. But yeah, so tune in. That's going to be really fun. If you're in Colorado, totally come. I can give you the details if I haven't been specific enough already. And it's going to be really good and really fun. So I hope to see you there. I hope to see you here next Saturday at some time that I don't know yet. And yeah, thank you all very much for tuning in. And I will see you soon. I love you all very much. And I hope you have a great week.